Morning, David. Hello. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Who's that? That's Terry.
It is, yeah. Oh, hang on.
There we are. So it does work then. This does work. This number I've given you.
Absolutely.
And it is easy to get in.
Yeah. Yeah, I just copied and pasted and clicked, and it said, wait for you to start. So I've been here.
And here I am.
Here you are.
So you're too keen. You're too keen.
Well, I just wanted to make sure it worked.
Well, me too. Me too. David, what I didn't realise was that Iris doesn't actually have Zoom on her computer, and that surprised me. So all you have. So I've learned something. You don't actually have to have the app on your computer. If you send out the invitation that this is what you did, all she does, even though she hasn't got Zoom, she clicks on it and she gets into the meeting. So when I was speaking to her yesterday, because she's worried about getting in, I said, well, just go into Zoom and join the meeting. And she said, what Zoom? I don't know. Where's your Zoom? I don't know where your Zoom is. I said, haven't you got the app then? She said, no, I haven't got the app. So you learn all the time, don't you?
Oh, well.
So what I've done is I've sent her an invite to this meeting. I've sent her an invite that she can click on. And I told her to get in at 10:02.
Onto the hyperlink. Oh, that's good. Okay. I'm just going to try something else, if I may.
Here's Brenda. Here's Brenda. Hi, Brenda.
Oh, hello, Brenda.
Hello, Brenda.
Speak to us, Brenda.
I am. I hope so.
There you are. Yes, you're there. You're there. Good.
You can hear us then, can you?
You're looking well, Mo. You okay?
No.
Oh. I could have
Just
come
don't ask.
after you.
Don't ask. Don't ask.
Oh.
Don't ask. It's not very pleasant.
Oh.
But there you go.
I offered to look after you, didn't I? But you didn't want me to.
When? When did you offer?
I texted you and said I was going to look after you.
What you said? You'd look after me?
Forgotten, didn't you?
I can't.
I'll get you shopping anyway.
Oh, that. Oh, that's boring. That's just boring. So it worked for you as well, then, Brenda?
Yes, yes, it did. When I've done it with my friends, I needed another number, but I didn't with you. You're more special, obviously.
You don't need the password when you're a paid up subscriber like what I am.
Oh no, none of my friends are. They just do it on the cheap.
I often wonder how the poor people manage, actually.
Well, I'm struggling along. I have to just about.
Says he in front of his yacht. Says he in front of his luxury yacht.
Yes. Well, somebody has to.
I must apologise for my unruly bookcase behind me. I must tidy it up sometime.
No, that's good.
The banjo players
from the newscasters, because they always have a bookcase behind them.
Well, that's right. Yeah, yeah. But it's looking a bit untidy. I really should tidy it up a bit.
No.
No, it's better untidy. Shows you read the books, doesn't it?
Brenda, it's not real. It's not real.
Isn't it? Isn't
That's
it?
not real. No.
How did you get the banjo players behind you then, Mo?
Oh, that takes a lot of skill and expertise.
Faces, have you?
Yeah, yeah. Well, oh no, it's a photo I took because I'm a bit of a photographer myself. So I took a photo of the group and superimposed it on the on here. This is what I use for the ukulele Zoom, which will be tomorrow.
Right. Okay.
I was hoping to see Iris about this time. I told her to try and get in early.
Time 5:02. Well, Right.
Well, we know Suzanne's not here, is she?
Oh, that's
No.
okay. So there is a button on my screen that says record. I don't know if you have that.
Yes.
Recording, yes.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never tried that, but
Mine is recording as well, but I've never actually been able to get to the recording. It's apparently it saves in iCloud.
yeah.
But I've never been able to access it. I'm recording now, and if I do happen to,
Well,
if I do
there is a solution, man. There is a solution.
say that again, David.
There is an answer to that. There is a solution to that.
Yeah, I'm sure there is. Yeah.
Do you want me to tell you what it is?
What?
I want me to tell you what the solution is.
I don't know what the solution. I don't know what the solution is.
The solution is buy a computer and throw away that flipping iPad.
Yourself an iPad. That's what you should do. Brenda, you're using it. Brenda, you're using a laptop.
I always use my laptop, yeah. Well, sometimes I use my Kindle, but my laptop's better. Now it's repaired. It's lovely.
Good for you.
Where did you go for a repair?
Pardon?
Where did you go to have it repaired?
Oh, it was a chap just in, wasn't far away in Hadley. You just poked it through a hole. He was the other side with a message on it, and he poked it back again with a bill.
You poked it through a hole.
And he took it from you and poked it back. But he phoned me in between and said, "What?"
Where in Hadley?
I can't remember.
Would it be opposite Iceland?
No. Wait a minute. I'll know in a minute. You know, my mind's gone a blank. Got that
Would it
senior
be-
moment.
Would it
Completely
be
blank.
along by the derelict pub
No.
on the same
It was
side?
further on than that. It was further on. Now, I think you went up past that restaurant we went to. No, by little Tesco's, and then the restaurant we went to. We went a little bit further than that.
Oh, I know. You're talking about Wings and Wheels Corner.
Yes, it was along there on the opposite side.
Not
Yeah.
that there's Wings and Wheels there anymore. I haven't been there for decades. But
No, I know, but I knew where that was, Wings and Wheels, yeah.
Like Coach and Horses, that doesn't exist. Hasn't been there for decades. And all sorts of other places don't exist anymore. Have you got any, Terry, that don't exist in this area?
I've been a couple of times to one by Thames Drive.
Thames Drive.
Well, that was it. I think that's where it was, Thames Drive.
There we are, there's Diana. Hello,
Yeah.
Diana.
Morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Morning, Diana.
Morning, Brenda. You all right?
Yes, thank you.
Hello, Mo. Nice to see you.
It must be lovely. It must be lovely for you, I must say.
It is lovely for us, of course.
Here's Roger. Here's Roger coming in. Hi, Roger. He's walking around.
Hello,
Roger's walking around.
Morning.
Morning, Roger.
Always under the
garden.
umbrella. He's in the garden.
Umbrella out.
Oh, look, in the garden, showing off.
How are you then?
Mrs. Lounger, how lovely. So where's Iris then?
Well, that's worrying. That's worrying. I told her to get in her. I sent her an invitation, which she should just click on to get in.
Oh, right.
But it has. I said try to get in about 10:02. So if you've got any problems, we can sort it out. But doesn't look like she's made it.
Oh.
Shall I phone her, Mo, or do you want to phone her?
I don't actually know her number.
Oh,
So could you?
I'll phone her if you like.
Okay, you're happy to do so.
Have you been sailing yet, David?
I have.
Oh, so lovely, isn't it?
They've let us go out on our boat, yes. Made with our toys. But we're not allowed to sleep on board, which is a bit irritating. So I have to go there, go for a sail, and then come home again. But there's a coast guard launch charging around, telling people off. and there's a helicopter, Coast Guard helicopter.
Really?
I did think I might go and anchor somewhere where they can't catch me, but they'll catch me from the air.
That seems silly on your own boat, doesn't it?
Well, you can't catch anything, any virus. You can't give it to anyone because there's only me on board. So, you know.
Yeah, silly rules, some of them.
But, they're the rules, unless, of course, we do a Dominic, of course, you know.
Yeah, you wouldn't need to bother then, would you?
Oh, yeah, if your name's Dominic, you don't have to worry. You know. But no doubt they'll sack him by the end of the day if it keeps
Yeah.
stirring up. I don't know. Has anyone had any communications from their local politician and been told what's what? I'm sure that they're all anxious, hardworking, sincere, upstanding members of society. I did read a
Here's
comment.
Max.
Say again?
Hi, Max. Hi, Max.
Oh, there she is. Hello, Max.
I had a phone call from Rebecca.
You had a phone call from her?
Yeah.
You could have gone 3 houses down and spoken to her in person.
We were on the phone about more than half an hour.
I see what, trying to convince you of what?
Sorry?
What was she trying to convince you of?
Well, she really wanted some boards, but apart from that, I had emailed her telling her how to run the country, and she was talking about that in the main.
I hear she's...
Can't see you, Roger.
She's more senior.
Who's that? Can't see.
No, I can only see your eyes popping over.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
That's better. That's better.
Oh, you're there.
Yeah, we're all here. Well, most of us are here.
David,
Yeah.
David,
Yep.
I'm just on to Iris.
Yep.
She reckons she hasn't had an email with a link to click on.
I sent her a link yesterday.
Sent the email. She replied to my email sending her the link.
Oh,
Wait a minute, I'll send it to her again. Wait a minute.
that's right. Yeah. Oh, you haven't got a Zoom app down, you know, on your computer.
Doesn't matter.
Oh, I see. Hang on a minute. Mo's trying to sort it out. Are you sending another link, Mo?
Yes, I'm sending a link now.
Right. Mo's sending a link now, Iris. And hopefully, if you just click on that, you will join us. Ever optimistic.
Right, it's gone. It's gone.
It's gone. Anyway, see what comes through, and we keep our fingers crossed. Okay.
Well, do you want to keep her on the line for now, Diana?
Do you want to keep on the line? Mo says. No. Well, we're just waiting to start actually, but.
One or two other people we're waiting for as well.
Yeah, there's a few more people waiting to join, David said. But yeah, you should get the email any minute now. Ping, has it come through? Oh, she's looking at a blank screen and nothing's coming.
Tell her, Diana, tell her to look at my email to her last week when she did reply that she had received it. And it has the numbers in it from Mo's site.
Yeah, but David, no. That won't work.
Oh.
That will only work. That will only work if she's got the app.
Yeah, she hasn't got.
She hasn't.
Right.
She hasn't got the app.
Yeah. Okay.
No, that's the problem. She needs that link. But anyway, hope for the best. Yes.
Mo, is that
Right.
you sent her? Blue text.
Well,
Sorry, Dave.
Well, it should come through, Iris, in a moment. Yes. Of course it will. Be optimistic. Be optimistic. Who's your really?
What's that? Cupboard.
Oh, right. Oh, well, look out for that email from Mo, because once you get that, just click on the link and you should be straight through. But nothing's coming up. Oh, who's your provider? Could be. Okay. Oh, well, we'll hope for the best, Iris. Yeah. Well, don't give up, you know. Oh, dear. I know. Oh, well, we hope it will come through and you can join us.
Well, while we're chatting, I've got a bit of an embarrassment here.
Oh,
If you can see this lot.
Yeah. Okay, Iris, take care.
You've eaten them. Are they empty boxes now?
No, they're not. They're the ones that are waiting.
Yeah. Bye, Iris.
These are your prizes that I'm building up a collection of. So I don't know what to do. I don't know when we're next going to be allowed to. I don't know if you need to see that. Oh, there you are.
Well, I expect them. I expect them to be delivered, David, left on the doorstep.
Yeah, could you leave mine on the doorstep, David? Or all of them on the doorstep.
Yeah, he needs building up, doesn't he?
Well, you're already owed one, Mo. You can't do it again.
Well, I think one's Iris's, one is Mo's. Iris.
One is mine. One is mine.
One is Brenda's.
Oh,
Yeah,
Don't
you
forget
make sure you
that.
get it.
I think mine's gone off by now.
No, it says here. No, it doesn't. Where does it say due date? 1932. Is that any good? No, that's wrong.
That'll do.
That's a date of birth.
Sorry.
Oh,
2021.
oh.
It's on here.
If you're lucky, you
Yeah.
might get that, Mo.
Yes, we're on there. Just one moment. It's Caroline. She can't join the meeting. If you just click on David's.
No, not on David's.
What?
Not
Not Caroline. No, it's Caroline.
No, listen.
Yeah, listen. Sorry.
Okay, tell her to open the app,
Open the app.
click on join meeting.
Yeah, no. Oh, right. Well, I got him with that. But click on the app. When it says join the meeting, what number, Mo?
Then you type in the number, which is
One I
9.
sent in the email last week.
No, it said she said that wouldn't work.
927.
27
Yeah.
2
Yeah, I will.
0
927
2
200
0
5209. Yeah,
Correct.
5209. Well, that was the one on my email from David.
Yeah. It worked for me.
Glasses on.
I just copied and pasted.
927 200
Five,
5209. 09. Righty ho. See you soon. Bye. She said she'd copied and pasted it, but it was the wrong number.
No. Must have got a digit wrong.
She looked surprised when I said 200, so
Oh,
don't
right.
into spec save, obviously.
Ah,
Yeah.
Here she is.
yes,
Here
Oh.
she is.
Yay.
Yay!
Morning.
I copied and pasted David's email number, but it didn't work.
Oh,
No,
Blame
no, I'm all right. I'm glad you're back, Mo.
good to be here.
Yeah.
Do you reckon in 6 months' time we'll have sorted out these technical difficulties?
Maybe.
It's Iris!
Oh, it's
It's
Iris.
Yay!
Hello, Iris.
Oh, Iris.
You made it then, Iris. Iris, can you hear me?
She's connecting to audio.
Oh, hooray.
Yeah, you should be able to hear us now. Can you hear us, Iris? Can you hear us, Iris? Come in, Iris.
She looks a
Is
bit
anybody
puzzled.
there? No. Her head's stunk. She just has to do. Can you hear us, Iris?
Iris is connecting to audio.
Oh, yes.
Hey.
She's on the laptop, so.
Yes. She needs to tip.
You can only
too
see the
short.
top of your head.
Sure.
She's disappeared.
Help! Help! Move the screen down. Move it more upright. Anyway,
We've got 3 minutes to go.
It's unlimited. We have 24 hours. We have 24
Oh,
hours.
don't say that. Oh, don't say that. Mark.
Yeah,
Don't tell David that.
but my battery may not.
Why are we waiting?
I don't know. Is Iris with us?
I'm
yeah,
with you, yes. I've been with you for a couple of seconds, minutes.
Oh, very good.
See you though, Iris.
Morning.
Is Bill joining us?
Head, Iris.
Beg your pardon?
We can only see half of your head. If you angle your screen
Go on.
down a little bit, we can see the rest of your head, your face.
You're going to see the rest of my face?
Yeah.
No,
You can only see the top of your head.
We can only see the top of your head.
Well, that's enough, isn't it?
No.
but we're fed up with the cupboard.
Oh,
But,
Right.
Is that
Now,
better?
while
Yeah.
we have a chat, Mo wants to disappear offline and do something personal.
Right. What I've got to do is go and pick up literally one by one all of your photos from my photo album, which will take a couple of minutes. So I'm going to go while David keeps talking.
okay.
well, he's already done mine, Mo. You haven't got to do me again, please. I've already been criticised. Don't do mine again, please.
Have you?
Now, whilst Mo's doing that, I'm going to try doing something very similar. And on my computer, I've got a share screen. Now, when Mo and I were playing with this last week, I was able to find those photos and to.
David, don't do it now. Don't do it now,
Okay.
because
Don't
it'll
do
muck
anything.
mine. It'll muck mine up.
Oh, will it? Right, okay.
Yeah.
Right, I did.
Just be patient.
Well, we should have.
I'm up to 21, 22. Wait a minute. 23, 24, 25. Oh, that's out of order. 25, 26,
We should have Brian
27,
Hill,
28.
but clearly not.
30, 31, 32. So we do a lot of photos, don't we? 32, 33, 34, 35, 36,
Oh, it's got to go in a minute.
37, 38, 39, 40.
For those that weren't here, the chocolate egg mountain is building up in my cupboard, and just to reassure you, these are all in date until May 2021.
Oh,
We're all okay. Hopefully they'll let us meet before then.
Okay, so I'm ready, David, when you are.
Thank goodness for that.
There we are.
Image number one, which we think is Phil's number one.
You can all see that okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
yes, wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for all your effort.
That's fine.
Right. Okay. So the this is one of those photos we tried to look at last week, but it was just a disaster, wasn't it? I apologise for that. But nonetheless, here we are this week, and everyone looks healthy. Those that have shown up anyway. And what's happened? Well, we know Suzanne's not available, but we don't know about Brian or Phil. So we'll see. Looking at this one then that Bill submitted, I'm amazed here at the detail that Bill has retained in the stonework there, and clearly that forms a particular style of composition. Does anyone remember the style of composition?
Frame within a frame.
Right.
Yeah, okay, so frame within a frame, that's good. So it's framed, the girl who must be the subject of this photo is framed by the rock, and that's all very well exposed. The difficulty is with this type of photo that if the girl was standing too far back, she'd be in the shadow in the castle, and clearly she's leaned forward sufficiently that she is properly exposed. So that's really good from that point of view. So it's a good composition, it's well exposed. It's a little bit bright on the top right hand corner or the top right hand third, And perhaps if Bill had the, well, he has got the Photoshop to be able to vignette just that top third a little bit. But I think that's a very good photo from Bill. And actually, I'll just write him on my list as well. So well done with that one, Bill. On the third, the girl is sharp, and we like to rock. And you'll notice, ladies and gentlemen, the achievement of a thin stroke around the whole thing. Some people call that a key line, and that's fine with me, but it does just separate the image from the black of the screen, and it works so. You told me that some judges don't like the key line. Well, okay, it's a personal choice, and it's for you to decide whether you like it or not. So long as it's not too bright and not too thick, then I think it works terrifically. But that's your opinion. Sorry.
Really?
Has that got a title?
At the top, can't get out.
Can't get out.
Oh, I can't see that.
Are you on a computer, Anna?
I'm on an iPad.
I can't help you on an iPad.
Well, I can see it. I can see it. I'm on an iPad.
All right. Okay. Not to worry.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, next one. Now, I rather like this one from Bill. Discussing it with him, this fern is only a centimetre or two across. Excuse me. And so it's a very good example of a macro photo. And of course, if you lived in a castle, if you had a very, very old property, Bill doesn't live in a castle, and he doesn't have a very old property, you too might have some little tiny macro ferns that you could photograph, and this is particularly well done. How it fits in with the title perhaps needs some understanding that this fern is, to me, it looks like an octopus, and it's trying to get out from the crevices between the rocks. And so I could understand how it does fit in the title that we set ourselves. So I like that a lot. It could, of course, be resubmitted, but you can't submit it a second time in the new month that we've now entered of garden. And here you have a fern struggling to get out. Very sensible, and that's perfectly okay. The green looks convincing for a newly grown fern, and yet some of the leaflets do look a tad overexposed. But otherwise, that's very good. He's also managed, you notice, I don't know if you can see it on your screen, you get the title in the bottom right-hand corner. Now, as far as we're concerned, that's absolutely fine. As far as the club is concerned, you might find that club carries or even club judges might not like the title on the screen. But for me, that's absolutely fine. I think if you've got the technology for doing it, then put it on there. That really goes very well indeed. So thanks for that, Bill. Rather like this one, again, the sort of escape, the release, the getting away from being locked down theme. And Phil's actually explained this one to me a little bit, that the boy in the middle seems to be bound with ropes, and the girl or the person behind him. And the others seem to be accompanying this soldier with the sword. So there's some sort of release, escape idea in this. He did tell me where it is, and I believe he said it's what's behind the park.
Yeah.
If you know where that is. I've never actually seen this carving myself. But
You went there.
We were.
You went there. You were with
yeah,
us.
yeah. I seem to remember it rained a lot.
Oh,
No.
that's nice one.
No.
Where did we go where it was teeming down with rain then?
Oh, lots of places.
That was for the bluebell. That was for the bluebells.
Oh God, that was a
Oh,
rain.
the bluebells, that was
Oh, Raynham,
oh,
Raynham
yes.
Marshes.
I think it was only 2 or 3. I think it was the Iris and I went to see the bluebells, wasn't it? Everyone else hiding under a tree because it was a hailstorm. Yes, that's a long time ago. Yes. Anyway, it's well photographed. You'll notice that the sky has got some detail in it. Now we will have lost that if we were in the Salvation Army place, and yet that is a nice place to meet. But I'm sure on your screens you can see the detail in the clouds there, which is great. Does anyone recall how to get a bit more detail into the sky?
Polarizing filter.
You got it right, polarizing filter. And does anyone recall when a polarizing filter will work and when it won't work?
Water, sky.
Yeah, in this case, what would you look for in order to ensure that polarizing filter does give you a bit more punch in the sky?
From my personal experience,
Yep.
because my garden is south facing,
Yep.
the polarizing filter doesn't work because you're pointing more or less straight at the sun. You need the sun more sideways.
Exactly. Now, my way of saying that to you, do you remember me saying, have the sun on your shoulder? Yeah. And if you have the sun on your shoulder, that is not behind you, not in front of you, but to the left or the right, you'll get maximum effect. But you have to turn the polarizer. I can't actually see myself on the screen. Can you see me? Right?
Yeah, we can see.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. You have to rotate the polarizer, but rotate it in the way that you do it up. Don't rotate it back, because if you rotate
Drops off.
it unscrew, and it has been known for polarizers to fall off lenses and get lost. I've done it myself. But just rotate it until you get maximum effect, checking that the the sun is on your shoulder, left or right. But as Terry says quite correctly, not directly in front of you or behind you. I mean, it still will work insofar as it will cut down the amount of light getting in, but it won't enliven skies that way. It merely acts as what's called a neutral density filter. And the neutral density filter is just a grey coloured filter which enables you to slow down the shutter speed. So if you want a slower shutter speed, keep the shutter open for 2 seconds, let's say, and it will only allow you to open it for half a second. Then by putting a polarizing filter, which is acting as a neutral density filter, in that way you can achieve longer. Similarly with water, some people have tried waves. If you want to get that sort of blurring effect on waves, on water, neutral density filters or polarizing filters will help you with that. So bill number 3, I thought that was a very imaginative one, and I think that's the first time for some time that Bill has submitted 3 images, so that's very good. I'm pleased about that, and hopefully he's got himself in here and a wife on the phone to us on the television this morning on the computer. Mo, do you have Bill's number?
No, I don't.
Can I give it to you? Would you like to phone him?
Oh, I'll do it. I'll do it.
Have you got it? Do you know Bill's number?
Yeah, I've got it, I think, somewhere. Brian Brenter. Yeah, I've got Bill's. I'll give him a ring. I'll mute myself.
Use the landline 552621. Okay, so we'll move on then, Mo, if you can. There's the 3 from Bill. Thank you, Mo. Let's move on to our next participant. And this is terrific. Just look at that, ladies and gentlemen. That is wonderful. Very central. Never mind about the rule of thirds. The rule of thirds is there for breaking. All of the rules are there for breaking.
David, why don't you wait till Diane's finished on the phone? Because she can't hear your critique of her photos.
Yep, okay.
Shall I go on to the next one and we'll come back to Diana?
Yeah, go on. The next part. Yep.
That's
okay.
Fred.
Fred. Oh, that's the other one. Release. Escape. Releasing the wheel nut. Very, very imaginative. Now, I thought I was giving you a tough topic this month, and everyone's really found. All right, phone's going. Someone's phone's going.
All right, my maid will answer it.
Your. Hope you don't get a gear for that. Anyway, so
she can't hear me.
Releasing the wheel nut from the car. Now, it's an interesting photo, very, very well exposed. It certainly addresses the title, and as I say, I think it's very imaginative. But I have to say, how many hands does he have?
2.
Okay. So how did he take the photo then?
On a tripod.
Time setting.
No.
Tripod.
It might not be his hands undoing
No,
it.
somebody else doing it.
Somebody else's hands.
Yes.
Yeah, I go along with that. I'm taking it for they are his hands. He put the camera on a tripod, had a delayed release, 2 seconds, 10 seconds delay, and then the camera has taken the photo automatically. I'm sure. Remember, if you press the button, you are the photographer, and you therefore own the photo. If, on the other hand, and Z, or in Terry's case, you hail your maid to press the button for you, then you don't own the photo. You may have set it up, but you don't actually own it. There was a question about some photos. Somebody gave a DSLR to a chimpanzee. The chimpanzee took a prize-winning photo, and the question was, who owned the photo? Go on, Mo.
Diana's trying to get your attention. She's got a hand up.
Yep, I can hear you.
Aren't you impressed I even found the hand?
Yes, yes.
Anyway, I've just been on to Bill, and basically I think he forgot. So I've assured him he doesn't need a password, so he's going to try and join us. Anyway, there you go.
Thank you, Diane.
Mo, are you running a waiting room? Will you?
No. He'll come straight in.
He'll come straight in, right?
Yes.
So I thought that from Fred was a jolly good image, and I'm sorry he's not here to see that. But just make a note of that for Fred. Yep, and I like the photo a lot. Can we move on, Mo? Now, this is another very imaginative one, again from Fred, where who on earth would have thought to take a photo of a rusty gate post? And the answer is we do, because we are photographers, and I'm sure you've had the occasion of taking photos of rusty things, rusty padlocks, and decaying paint and wood and so on. And when your partner or your friend or your son or your granddaughter look at it, they say, well, why did you take a picture of that? And maybe your grandma said it, if you're lucky enough to have a grandma. Don't think any of us.
Don't want any of
Down there.
She's so good, man. Good. So it's a cracking good photo. It does very well address the topic. Release the bolt, released from our lockdown. I did think we would be released by now, but clearly after Dominic's performance, I don't think we're going to get the release from the weekend that we were hoping for. But maybe he'll be released to go somewhere else Is it Dominic I'm talking about? What's his name? This infamous politician that's been in the news over the weekend.
Dominic Cummings.
Don't mention it.
Cummings is going.
That's it.
There used to be a shop in Billericay called Goings. Was it a fish shop? Who knows Billericay?
Not really.
Okay.
It's closest to me, but I don't know it.
Your homework, Mo, is go and find out. But there you go, never mind. Yeah, something else to say about this photo. If I give you some letters, let's see who picks up on this. DOF.
GOF.
D, Delta, Oscar, Foxtrot.
Depth of field.
Well done. So what do you notice about depth of field here then?
It's very narrow.
Blur in the background.
Sorry, Brenda, say again.
I just said it's got a blurry background.
Blurry background, that's fine. So the bolt itself is sharp at the nearest end. The handle end is a little bit less sharp. But if you keep going to the right hand edge of the photo, and for that matter, to the left hand edge of the photo, it's distinctly out of focus. This begs a question. The question is, what was the aperture, the iris, the F number?
5.6.
Oh, I was going to say that.
No cheating. Not the answer I want. What's the answer then?
I'm sticking with 5.6.
Yeah.
Or lower.
Lower.
Lower if possible.
The answer is a low aperture, low number, big hole, yeah, will give you a shallow depth of field, which means that the image stands out. That which is sharp, the business end of the bolt is sharp, and everything else gets softer as it goes back away from it. And that's a very good technique for getting things to stand out. So well done, Fred, on that.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to make a note. Bolt. What was that program? Bernie the Bolt. Remember that one?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Very painful.
That's dated, isn't it? Right. Fred number 3 is dropping a tennis ball or a potato or something. His hand looks remarkably like the hand that we saw previously, and no doubt he's got that camera on a tripod with a cable release or delay, and he was tried several attempts at doing that. I rather like that, as we'll see. How about, well, we just discussed aperture, how about shutter speed? Right, don't tell me anything. How are you? Can you hear me, Max?
What's the question?
Shutter speed. Max, are you receiving audio?
Yes, I'm
Very
asleep.
clear, though.
Say again?
Not very clear, to me anyway.
The audio is not clear.
You're,
It's like you're
only when
underwater.
you speak.
It's like David's underwater.
I'm underwater, am I?
Yeah.
Yes, it's
I thought it was just me, but yes, it is very. It keeps breaking up.
Yeah, I can't hear it either.
Oh, right. Okay.
Speak clearly, David.
I'll put my other teeth in then, shall I? Okay. Well, the question is, what's the shutter speed in this photo?
Well, he's got the wrong one, hasn't he? He's got too slow. It's not. He's got a slow one, which means the thing isn't sharp. He ought to have had a faster shutter speed.
What would a faster shutter speed achieve?
Well, he would have got a sharp ball.
Sharp ball. So did you want a sharp ball? Careful.
If he didn't,
That's my problem.
Good morning, everyone.
Oh, hello, Phil.
Ah,
Good to see you. How are you?
All
There he
right,
is.
thanks. In a bit of a flap, of course, as I forgot all about it.
Ah, right. Well, nice to see you, Phil. Nice to see you. So we're on to Fred.
Yeah, okay.
Really, as Iris said, the shutter speed is chosen such that the ball is blurred. Now, if he had chosen a faster shutter speed, then that no doubt would have been a sharper ball, frozen in time. But I rather suggest that Fred has deliberately chosen a slow shutter speed so that it does show motion.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
I think that's a very good idea myself. So I would disagree with Iris, but I do think Fred's achieved movement in this release of the tennis ball. Looks rather like a potato to me, but maybe it's a tennis ball. And
The clue's in the title.
say again.
The clue is in the title.
The title is so that's
Release the
fine.
ball.
Sorry, Iris, say again.
Release a ball.
Release a ball, yes. Okay.
Yeah, he should have got further. I think he should have got further from the background. The background
Further away from it, yeah? Okay.
is
More of the environment. Yeah?
it's a matter really of choice, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Both right. It's
Yeah.
just how you see it.
I wondered if I can't do anything about the microphone at this stage. I might at some stage try a different microphone and see if that's any better for you.
Yes, you should.
I feel it sounds as if I'm underwater.
Yes.
Try another microphone.
Your microphone sounds all right to me.
Yeah, it's just a bit.
It's better when he's
echoey.
not there, isn't it? He's
I'm not here.
Oh,
Well, you better hide, Iris. Keep down.
he hasn't. He hasn't.
I meant the sound.
Iris, he hasn't critiqued yours yet. I'd be careful.
Right, I'm going to plug in a different microphone and see whether this works any better. Right, how's that? Is that any better?
No different.
No
Say
different.
something.
I
Say
think
something.
the angle you're at to the microphone.
One, two, well, there's the microphone. Can you hear me now? One, two,
That's
three.
the same.
Yes, I can hear you fine.
Yeah,
Fine.
it's okay. It's okay. But
It's okay.
it's just a bit muddy.
Try that one. Is that any good? Any good?
Perhaps it's your muddy earphones. I've got earphones on.
Is this? Nothing. You can't hear me, can you?
Yes.
We
Yes, I
can
can
do,
hear you.
yes.
So how about that?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, just
we'll see. We'll see.
that's all right.
Okay. So I thought that was a very thoughtful photo, and you'll notice Fred has made a key stroke around it, and key line, which works very well. Mid-grey, quite thin, and that's succeeds. I like that. Thanks very much. Move on, please. Oh, don't forget we haven't seen.
Yes, I'll go back to Diana. Do you want to talk about the three or?
Well, they go very well. I've nothing further to say.
Okay, let's go back to Diana. Right.
Right. Now, I was
Fantastic.
saying on this one is really, really skillfully taken, and you'll notice that the point of focus is the center of the dandelion, where the seeds are actually being released from. And cunningly, Diana has caught two of the seeds nearly escaping from the globe of the seed head. And I like that very much indeed. Quite sensual. We don't need the third rule. The third rule is immaterial in this case. But I would point out to you the background. Look closely at the background. And what do you notice that Diana has achieved there?
Got it out of focus.
Very out of focus.
Both out of focus, but it's also quite dark, isn't it? And this is the product of the area of the screen that's being used to do metering. Now, the metering is normally achieved in one of three ways. I don't know what metering settings you have on your camera, or whether you've even discovered that you've got them. So there's one metering system that will average everything in the whole screen. Yeah, that is in Callum's teeth. That is evaluated. Yeah. To be honest, I usually use evaluated myself for nearly everything. Yeah. There's another one at the other end of the range, which is called spot metering, and that is just the very, very central item, maybe 5% of the whole of the screen is used to meter the scene. And on this occasion, I don't know whether Diana actually chose a different metering system, but it looks like spot metering, which has correctly exposed the speeds in the speed head rather than the whole of the image. On the other hand, they are the two extremes. Evaluated is all of it averaged out. Spot metering is just the very center point where your metering is active, and then there's something in between, which might be called partial metering, or in Nikon speak, I'm not sure what it's called in Nikon speak, but it's not 5% and it's not 100%. It's something in between.
Isn't it called centre weighted?
Yes, centre weighted,
Could
Bill.
well be.
Yeah.
That's good. So I don't know if you, as photographers, have messed around, fiddled around, experimented with the metering mode, but it's worth having a go in this month's challenge to find yourself, let's say, a flower in a flower bed, or a gnome by your pond, or maybe you could enlist your maid. There's Terry gone, disappeared off my screen. Sit your maid in front of her knitting or whatever she does, and try 3 different photos. 1, spot metered onto the maid's face. 2, partial metering, that sort of 20% or so of the middle of your screen. And 3, evaluated or averaging metering, whatever Nikon speak is, which averages everything over the whole screen. And then look at the 3 remaining, the 3 resulting photos to see what the effect is. In this case, I don't know whether Diana, are you still with us, Diana?
Yes, I am. Yeah.
Did you change your metering mode, or don't you?
I think that would probably be spot metering on the centre of the seeds. Yeah.
Certainly looks like spot metering to me, but I'm not sure that all of the group are up to the different metering modes or have experimented with them. So if I may, I'll ask you to experiment with your metering mode and see what the effect is. Clearly, in this case, spot metering has worked terrifically well. The seed head itself is perfectly exposed, and the background has dropped into both darkness and out of focus. So if we were to guess the settings on this, and Mo was suggesting an aperture earlier, give it a spin then, Mo. What would you think the aperture is on this one?
Well, again, it's quite a narrow depth of field, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, the lowest on my camera is 5.6. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, that's fine. Just depends on the lens.
Yes.
And I'll say something about lenses later. So as low an aperture number as your lens will allow you to take, that's fine. If anyone has something that goes to f4.5, if your lens will open up as far as well, even smaller numbers, they're the usual ones that one needs. 4.5, 5.6. Some people may have, I think, who was it? I'm thinking of. Was it Diana? You've got a very wide lens, a very fast lens, low number aperture.
I think mine's four. Four.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So again, very well worth being aware of that and choosing an aperture such that the point of focus is focused and everything further away is dropping into softness. So that's a very, very well taken photo. An interesting stroke line that I'm seeing two lines, two key lines around it, one thinner and one further out, which is fine. Don't mean that critically, I just mean that's a real skill. So well done. Is that just a keystroke on your computer, or did you engineer those?
Sorry, were you asking me?
Yes, Diana, how did you get those double keystrokes?
I think I use PixArt for that.
Right, okay, well, it doesn't go well.
Yeah, you can choose your colour and width, yeah.
Yeah, so long as it's not too wide and not too bright. I have seen some in club competitions where the borders are far too wide and far too bright, and they spoil the picture, basically. Okay, so Diana, well done with that one. I like it. Now, you know what my opinion is of blue skies, plain blue skies, and quite clearly Diana has put a shilling in the meter and dialed up some clouds, which is absolutely wonderful. I like that. I wonder, ladies and gentlemen, and she's got this photo which really encapsulates the way we've all been locked in, unable to get out until, when was it? Was it last week, Wednesday? We were allowed to actually go somewhere, and so to some extent we have been released a little bit. But this lockdown by the barbed wire is very imaginatively seen, and I guess this is Diana's back garden. Thoughtfully sustained and
Where's the maid?
wire so that Diana can't escape. Very well, thoughtfully composed and photographed. However, no, not however, and if you try to analyze it, ladies and gentlemen, where was the sun?
I think it was coming in from the left, would it be?
Or is it behind the clouds? I think it's behind
the clouds.
What I'm expecting you to say is that the whole of the fence and the fence post and the barbed wire seem to be in silhouette, which is great. And that means if you look at the foliage on the plant on the left, the sunlight seems to be coming in through it. So the sun is just to the left-hand side of the photo, more or less in front of Diana if she took this photo. So it's the exact opposite of what your mother would have said to you when you had your brownie 127 back when you were 8 years old. You know, keep the sun behind you and people in front of you. This is skillfully taken into the light, giving us this silhouette effect and the brightness of the leaves with the sun streaming through them of the bush on the left-hand side. So that's again very well taken. Any other comments, people, before I pick up on the third thing I wish to say about this image?
Go ahead.
Sorry. The message, David, was in the title. I think it was called Blue Skies and Beyond.
Yes.
The idea being that, you know, there's something to look forward to afterwards.
Yep. Very thoughtfully done. I thought that was imaginative. Well done. Yeah, very, very good. I like titles. So you know my rule about titles, don't you? And this is just about getting in under the wire, getting the titles rule. And I don't mean that to be a pun, but maybe it is. But yes, I mean, I did have an image shown to me to judge at one club, and the title was about 3 lines. I was bored by the time I read the full title, let alone looking at the picture. So, don't bore me. 3 or 4 words, enough. Any more than that, I'm not going to ask. That's
I thought you might say something about the diagonal, David.
Well, composition, Marie. Do you want to talk about the composition?
Yes.
Go on, then.
No, I was waiting for you to say.
No, it's up to you.
No, I made the point. I'm saying I like the idea of a diagonal line going from left to right up to the top.
And it fits in with the title, the and beyond part. It fits in with, because you're held in by that fence. You can't get out. It's barbed wire. The fact that there's no detail in the fence, there's no detail in the barbed wire, it's all silhouette, actually works marvelously at addressing the title. I think that's a winner. But the stroke to me is too bright. It's a tad too wide as well. And if you were to put that into a club competition, I would suggest you reduce the stroke and take it down to mid-grey.
Okay.
Other than that, I think it's a really powerful photo and a very, very well chosen title. Titles are often the most difficult part of this skill, and some clubs don't even have titles, which is a shame, because a title tells the judge what to look for, and as such, you're leading the judge by the nose. But there again, you do it for yourself. You don't do it for judges, and you don't do it for anyone other than yourself. And I think that's very well done. So well done, and that's Diana Blue Sky. Yep, thank you, Mark.
Can I just say one thing about the titles? When you send the photos in, it would be really helpful if you could name the photo the title rather than PB12345. It'd be really helpful. If you can do that, it would really help me and save me a lot of time.
So
Just saying.
You want people to rename the file JPEG?
Yes, yeah. Exactly, Bill. Yeah.
I think I've been trying to do that.
Yes, and Terry does it as well. But if you can do it, it would help. But if it's too difficult, then carry on. Just saying.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Yeah, good point. Right, so moving on to a chick breaks out. This made me laugh. This is really released from inside the egg, and we have Diana trying to break out. Now, of course, because we know it's Diana's, and it's Diana's photo of herself, then we can understand the sort of symbolism of the chick. And I like that a lot. That's very, very, very good indeed. Had that been a club judge, that club judge wouldn't quite find it quite so amusing, perhaps, as I did or as we did. Nonetheless, it's very, very good indeed. Beautiful composition. There's no rules about composing pictures or not composing pictures. I know certain people are not happy about fiddling around with pictures, changing them other than the reality. I won't mention any names, but nonetheless, I think that's very, very well done. And we've seen lots of compositions, one way or another, composites, they might be called, over the years. And it's a good many years that you've been doing this together, and aren't you doing well? So I think that's a really amusing photo. I love it.
It was tongue-in-cheek, David. I certainly don't consider myself a chick.
Oh, we do. We do.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
What, Diana, was it a hard-boiled egg? Well, I just wondered how you got, whether all the egg came out, or or was it hard-boiled?
It's good. It's well taken. It addressed the topic. I like. What did you use for a background, Diana?
Well, what I did, I took a picture of myself sort of on the edge of the kitchen worktop, hanging onto the edge of the kitchen worktop.
Yeah.
and I took it on a timer release,
Yeah.
and then I had to cut myself out and superimpose it, layer it into the egg. Oh, don't go in too far.
Was
Go
it-
back.
You can see how you can see how well you've done it.
So the question is still, what the egg was actually empty, was it?
I had to break the egg.
It was
Yeah.
a raw egg, was it not?
It was a raw egg.
I
And
struggled the same way. So was
That's what.
it raw? You used a raw egg.
yeah,
That's
I
why.
had to tip the egg out and
Yeah.
clean. Yeah.
Oh, right. That's why I asked you whether it was hard boiled, because you could have left the egg there and just put the colour over the white, if you see what I mean.
No, the
You
egg was
have-
then emptied out.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
and you have a job if you're going to leave the egg and crack it in Photoshop. It's very difficult, as you will see later.
Yeah.
I think it's very well
Sorry,
done,
Dan.
very well taken.
Yeah.
The background behind the eggs in the egg box, how did you do that, Diana?
The black background.
Black background, yeah.
Oh, I've got a self-made crude light box with black card that I just put inside.
Super.
So it's just a piece of black card.
Yeah.
With the camera set up.
Good. Okay.
Well done.
Well, I think that's very, very well done. I love the title. I love the almost double entendre of it, and yet the stroke is a little bit wide on my screen, a little bit bright. I still recommend reducing the thickness of the stroke and its brightness. Go from mid-grey of about 5 pixels. Depends on the size of the image, but it's just a little bit too bright. Perfectly okay, but for a club competition, I would suggest you just redo the stroke part of it. But well done, super image, thank you. And there are those 3, really well done, thank you. So where are we at next then?
Caroline.
Caroline, yes. This is very much like Bill's one, isn't it? Of the girl trying to get out from the castle, and again, it's framed within a frame. It's very well done. A bricked up opening there with bars on it. Heaven knows where it is.
Yeah, that was when we went to Tilbury Fort.
I wonder.
Oh yes, oh yes.
And of course, the camera never lies, and there happened to be a cat looking out at Bill at the time, out for Caroline at the time. So that's very, very convenient. The only slight fly in the ointment, I perceive that anyone else found something
Yeah, weird.
it's weird.
Yeah.
What's weird about it?
Well, it looks like that shadow's going into his throat and coming out of his head.
Yeah, that's it.
I know.
The bars actually.
I could have put a shadow across his face, but that wouldn't have looked very nice.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I understand why. So quite clearly, that's the clue for a judge to say, well, it's been composited, the cat's been put in, but you perhaps have the difficulty there of, well, being in. It's impossible to put the shadow in without covering up the cat's face, unless you could somehow arrange for the cat to seem to be in front of the bricks but behind the bars, between the bricks and the bars. But I don't know if that is possible. Quite a challenge, and I think Caroline did very, very well at getting that idea. Very much along the lines of Bill's first image, with the girl coming out in the castle. So I like that a lot. Anything else people would like to comment about that?
Well, you could have cloned out that bit of shadow down to the middle bar, and then it would have been not so obvious, if you see what I mean.
Well, got rid of the whole shadow.
Got rid of the shadow, cloned it down to perhaps down to the middle bar or something, and it would have looked. You wouldn't have noticed it then, really.
Yeah.
But the shadow stopped.
Worth a try. Certainly worth a try. But well thought of, well seen. And if you had a selection of cat photos, you might try a larger cat behind the bars but in front of the bricks, and then the shadow problem wouldn't have occurred. But yeah, worth a try. Where did you get the cat from? To yours?
And no, it was a friend of mine. I don't have a cat myself.
Right. Okay.
Aren't there more shadows than there are bars?
Uh,
There's sort of two shadows to the right of the cat, aren't there? And only one bar.
That is the original photo. All I did with the photo was put the cat in. I didn't do anything to the bars, shadows.
See what I mean? One bar seems to have two shadows.
Yeah, it does, doesn't
Yeah.
it?
But
Yeah,
that is
if you
no
look at
photo. I
illusion
didn't do
something.
that.
if you look at the foot of the bars, counting one from left to right, number one, you can see the shadow at the foot of the bar. Number two, number three, number four, but then there's a shadow with no bar in between 4 and 5. You see what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
that's
So that is strange. Have we done anything to that? Taking the bar out.
I don't know how that happened.
Like a window frame behind the bars.
Behind.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. There's a window frame behind the bars. Yeah, got it. Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
still, I think that's an intriguing composite. Very well done. Good stroke, mid-grey, not too bright, and very well done. So I like the cat. Please release.
Is that the
Good
shadow of the shadow of yourself there on the side?
No, I don't think so.
That's the
Yeah,
shadow
look,
of the
there's your
wall.
arm. Yeah.
That's the shadow of the wall, isn't it?
Yes, there's a shadow of the wall because that's sort of wobbly.
All right then.
That's not my
Saying,
shape.
Iris?
What you're implying.
Okay.
Are you saying on the right-hand side, Iris?
Yes, on the right hand side, it sort of looks like a figure with an arm. And
Well, I'm not that shape.
nice shape.
Moving on.
Right. I suppose it could be.
Thank you, Terry. Caroline, well done. Very good composite. Thank you very much. Once again, the title says it all, not for freedom. So not on the door knocker. Freedom, what are you asking for when you go through this door? The freedom that these black-headed gulls have, and that's been superimposed in the knocker there. So again, a good composite, very good, very thoughtfully done. I like that a lot. Whatever you do, when you put the photo like this, including the gulls, for heaven's sake, don't call them seagulls. Certain budgies go around in their ears if you describe them as seagulls, and you'll be told there's no such thing as a seagull, they're a black-headed gull. For me, I don't care if they're gulls, but just be aware of it. There are some funny judges out there, they really are. I like that. That was very thoughtfully done. And once again, the depth of field is so shallow that the second knocker, is it a knocker or a door handle?
Yeah, it was a knocker. There was one at the church at Rettendon.
Right. And it's
Took the actual photo there, and then I put the seagulls in.
yeah. No, I'm just saying the knocker on the right-hand side is good and soft, giving us this perception of depth. So I like that a lot. So well done on that. The actual seagulls seem to be sharp. The knocker that's closest to us doesn't seem to be actually as pin sharp as I would have hoped. But there we go. As a composites are not easy. There's a little bit of vignetting going on, if you notice, ladies and gentlemen, particularly along the bottom left corner. What I call negative vignetting. Can you see what I mean by that?
No, I didn't really hear what you said about that.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Negative vignetting down at the bottom left-hand corner. Do you see? Yeah.
The grey frame seems to be merging in to it, doesn't it?
Yeah,
I think-
that is the negative vignetting. it's not exactly a stroke line. It's more like vignetting is, we normally think of it as darkening around the edges or the corners. Not dare I mention fuzzy edges, but in this case, lightening the edges, and particularly the bottom left-hand corner is the one that catches my eye. So negative vignetting, and it does work. Nothing against it, it does work. It helps the subject, doesn't always work, it helps the subject to stand out, so I like that. There could still have been a stroke, but you'd need a slightly different shade of grey for the stroke line to work. How are you with stroke lines, Caroline? Can you do them? Does your software Jiggery Pokery work on stroke lines or not?
I didn't quite get that.
Line around the outside.
Yeah, the vignette, yes. Oh, I did the grey vignette, and then I did a very thin black border.
Oh, there is a black one, is it? Oh, that's not really showing.
Yeah, we can't really see it against the background.
No, it's fine. And that's the difficulty of a black border, because it's DPI, so you're trying to separate the image from the black background, and you can't do it with a black border. So you really need a borderline which is mid-grey, but because you've used a negative vignette, the images are all a shade of grey. You just need a different shade of grey just to make the edge quite sharp. Yeah. But there again, in this case, is it necessary? Perhaps you're going to say no, it works quite well. So I like that, Caroline. Well done, very thoughtfully done. And I should call that gold in my notes here. Thank you.
David, on a practical note,
yeah.
my iPad is down to 35%, which when it dies, the whole session will end.
Right.
So,
on charge while you're there.
Sorry?
Can you put it on charge while you're using it?
No, because no is the answer.
Oh, it's not.
It's actually feeding my hearing aid. That's the only way I can hear. So that's the slot. So I'm just saying, maybe you should speed up a little bit, David. Sorry.
What we do, get it in 35 minutes. Okay, right. Released at last.
Yes.
I like the image a lot. Again, it's a silhouette style image, and I like that. Incidentally, Mo, if we do get disconnected, can you plug a new battery in and then we reconnect to part 2 of the session?
No.
All right, okay.
No.
Thin stroke line, quite like that. The handcuffs are a little bit lacking in detail, which really is...
Yeah, it's a bit overexposed, I think.
Overexposed, yeah. Right. So shorter shutter speed or smaller aperture, bigger number. So instead of the 50th of a second, go up to stop to the 200, and the aperture, instead of it being most favorite 5.6, go up a couple of stops to F16 and see what happens. Yeah. Well done. Good. Fits the title. Released at last. I like the idea. So yeah, handcuffs, and that is Caroline, isn't it?
I suggest what's happened in that photograph is that it's averaged out, and it's mainly taken the average of the black background.
Yeah.
And therefore, it's
back to metering modes. Yeah, good suggestion, Bill. Good suggestion.
Yeah, that's what's happened.
Yeah.
And the only way to do that is to put down the light value. Not just if you're using automatic exposure.
If you change the colour of the background, would it change the aperture?
No, it didn't, because
it's a
photo with a red background.
Depends what the brightness of the background is. Doesn't matter what the colour is. Depends what the brightness of the background is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, a yellow background looks very bright, but it isn't necessarily any brighter.
Yeah. Yeah. What was that black card? Was it, Caroline?
Sorry?
Was it black card?
Yes, that was a black placemat. I put them on a black placemat.
Yeah. I think what we said first of all will work fine, but you could also, as Bill is intimating, experiment with metering modes and get your camera not to do evaluated metering, because what the camera's trying to do is make it overall grey.
Yeah.
That's its aim, yeah. And if you put it on point metering, then perhaps would have given you an aperture setting, which would have given you detail in the handcuff and black background as well.
The easy way to do it is to put a 50% grey card alongside the other card, set your camera up, press the halfway button, and then move the camera over.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Very technical.
But I didn't.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
No, I do like this one, Mags. I dare you. 3 words, good title. I like that a lot. And doors open. There's the outside, but you're locked in. You're not allowed to go out. I dare you to go out. Yeah, very thoughtfully composed, and I like that a lot. One of the few photos in the suite which are portrait mode. A good mid-grey stroke, although we have rounded corners, which I suspect comes from the software. I'm not much of a keen fan. I'm not a keen fan of the rounded corners, but nonetheless, I take it, Mag, that was a button on the Pixar or the laptop, was it?
Sorry, I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't know what I'm talking about. The grey around the whole photo. How did you achieve that?
That's the border.
Yeah. How did you achieve it? What do you do to make that border?
I was using, I think, Photoshop. I can't remember.
Photoshop. You can't remember. Okay, fine. Well,
It's not a picture off a phone, is it?
It's fine.
No, it's not off a phone.
Well, it could be. There's nothing wrong with the picture off the phone, but it just looks like those dimensions.
You just
My phone takes very good pictures, but that was taken on manual on my camera.
Manual on the camera.
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Okay. And then you go into Photoshop, do you, Mag?
Yeah.
Which version of Photoshop do you use?
I don't know. You're getting too technical now.
Right. Okay. It's fine. I like it. I like it very much, and it certainly fits to the title. I dare you. Nice short title, and it's well exposed pretty much to the inside. If we were talking about the driveway and the houses over the road, they're clearly overexposed, but that's not worrying me in the least. Though you could again try different exposure modes after we finish talking today, different metering modes of the same scene. All the settings otherwise are the same, except that you use a different metering mode, and it will give you a different aperture, same ISO, same shutter speed, but it will give you 3 different aperture settings when you do 3 different metering modes, and 3 quite different photos. So there's quite a lot in that photo. I like that very much. Thanks, Max. Another rusty door bolt. Unlocked. Are we unlocked? Are we released? Yeah, okay, good, thoughtful. You'll notice that the hasp doesn't line up with the bolt, or put it another way, the bolt doesn't line up. So that was my. So
aren't all gates like that?
Yes.
I said all gates are like that. Mine is.
It was an earthquake. It was an earthquake.
Yeah, unlocked, perfectly unlocked. Are we going to be released? But nonetheless, good photo. Thanks, Mags. I think there might be a black border around this one. Yes, there is. And as I said before, that works to separate a border, works to separate an image from its background. But in this case, with Mo loaded your photos into a a black mottled background, so the background is showing up quite as well as it might. And I would suggest
I'm not sure. I think the grey didn't look right. I tried sort of a rusty brown, but again, that didn't look right either.
Yeah, what some people have done is to pick a colour from the photo, and so long as you're not colourblind, then that can work. So you might have chosen the rusty brown from the bolt, or from the slot into which the bolt slides. But if you think it doesn't work, that's fine. You do what you feel will work, and that's good. So yeah, good photo, well thought of, well seen. I like the title. Thank you very much. I only told you to blow the bloody doors off. Yeah, I like it. And again, it's a very apt title for the release. And here I take it it's Dave has taken the doors off for some reason, or maybe you made him take them off, maybe to get the bolt to be careful with the half.
The door, that's come in handy.
Say again?
That's come in handy. It's a spare door.
Oh, it's a spare door. Oh, well, we all have a spare door. Had I known you had a spare door, I might have bought that one from you a few weeks ago. I needed a door. Anyway, there we go. Very thoughtfully done. The exposure, however, is a little bit over the top. It's too overexposed. The door is about right. The grass is too bright, and I think it's Dave's trousers are way too bright. And often, of course, the brightest part of the image will be the one that you look at. And maybe Dave running in the opposite direction, having blown the bloody door off, is part of the joke of this photo. But he is rather overexposed. So again, experiment with your metering mode and see whether you get a little better as far as that's concerned. The black border is a dark shade of grey. I think is the best I've seen. So that's good. But just be aware of those borders. And your border doesn't seem to extend to the right-hand side of the image, unless it's sort of transmuted into a black border. I'm not sure what's going on there. It might be.
Software puts border around the whole thing rather than sides. It goes all four sides, so it must be there.
Well, if I look on the right-hand side, I'm seeing black border. If I look at the top, I'm seeing a dark grey. Left is dark grey, and bottom, I would say.
David, in fairness to Mags, I think that might be my fault.
Oh, right. Okay, well, we'll blame Mo. Okay.
Blame. I think I may have cropped it too much.
Oh, I see. Right. Okay. So.
Sorry, Mags.
Mags, I would say that's a very good title, a very good. Experiment with your metering modes and try to take the whole thing down. I would suggest probably a whole stop. Yeah. And the whole stop is, from 5.6 to 11. F5.6, that's at 11, yeah?
Yep.
Depends what your lens will let you do. Work in manual rather than automatic. Stick to automatic.
They were all taken in manual.
Again?
They were all taken in manual.
Excellent. But what I'm saying is use automatic as a metering mode. So put your camera on automatic, half press.
I've learned.
It suggests,
I've learned,
and then override it, then go to manual. Are you still with me?
Yes.
I didn't hear. I cut you off. Sorry.
By the time you've done that, all the sun's come out and changed everything.
I'll talk to you about that later, Phil. Max, did you understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Okay. That's precisely what I did.
Oh, very good. Okay, well done.
What you said a few months ago, and so I can take in one manual now and set it up that way and change it a bit.
Yeah, good, good.
Was incredibly bright sunshine that day.
Yeah, well, we've been lucky with the sunshine. Mo's release of the gull from his hands, really quite a complicated composite, because we have that scenery of the sea, sky, the clouds, setting. We then have superimposed on that a gull, appropriately taken. A little bit fuzzy, out of focus, motion blur. That's fine because it's showing me movement in the gull. I'm quite happy with that. It's fine. I can understand where he's going with that. And then the gull, the hands, really sharp hands, superimposed on this composite to imply that the gull has been released from the hands to fly away into its natural environment. Fleeing the Frinton flyer. Nothing like a little bit of alliteration is there, Mo. That's very good. You'll notice the mid-grey stroke, which really works very, very well. And Mags, I don't know if on your screen, can you see Mo's stroke? Is that,
I can.
you can? Yeah. And that
Very
works
nice
very
done,
well.
Mo.
Sorry?
Very nicely done, Mo.
Very
Thank
well
you.
done indeed. Very thoughtfully done. And I love the alliteration as well. So
Well, I did it in that colour because the red ink had run out.
well,
I would normally have used red, but it ran out of red ink.
I like that. How did you do the hands then, Mo?
On a timer in front of the camera, well, just like this,
Yeah. Well done. Well done. Yeah.
You
well
held the camera in your teeth, did you?
No, it was on a tripod between my legs.
Yes. And I can't see the scars on your hand from the billy goat incident.
No. No, that's the Diana incident there.
The Diana.
The Diana.
Oh, well, we all know.
Come on, we've got to get on.
We've got to get on.
Come
oh,
on.
dear.
Very good. Well done, Mo. Can we be released? Yeah, it's a what now, isn't it? If you call them what nows, another composite. He's managed to capture an image of a virus, and the fingers and the drawing of the what no man. Yeah, I love that. Can we be released? Yeah, I like it. Plus this background that he's put everything on of this exploding, I don't know what it was, firework, I don't know. How did you do the background, Mo?
If I told you that, I'd have to kill you, David.
That's all right, I'm ready for this.
It's a standard background that I just found.
And you pinched the coronavirus picture from somewhere, did you?
It's not a real one, Bill.
No, it's not a real one. Did you manufacture that then?
I did.
Oh, really?
No, I copied it.
Oh, right.
I stole it.
That's what I said. That's what I said.
We are concerned, doing that is absolutely kosher. No reason why not. As far as a club composition is concerned, you may not use bought or borrowed or somebody else's photos.
Right.
In club competitions, but for us, it's absolutely kosher. I'm not in the least worried about it. I particularly like your drawing, that hand free drawing of the What No Man.
I did the same as Diana. I took it on the edge of a table.
Yeah, I know that.
And took the
What No Man face.
The man.
What about him?
You hand drew that, did you?
Yes, yeah. Copied it.
Yeah.
Put two little white dots in his eyes.
Play again.
Put two white specks in each, one white speck in each eye.
Next time I will. Next time I will.
I just come alive.
Cat's right, that's called. Two white dots, cat's right in the eye. Something that the judge will look for, you should be looking for in portrait photography, and yes, it does give a three-dimensionality to the appearance of the face. I like that background. I like the exploding background and the composite entirely. Good stroke, well done stroke. So excellent. Yeah, well done, Mo. As always, excellent.
Getting a bit philosophical here.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where did you find this, Mo?
Where did I find it?
Yeah.
Hang on a moment. How about there? How about there?
Right.
There.
Oh, right.
Another.
It did come. It did come from Jerusalem, I have to say.
Oh, did it? Right.
Yep.
Okay. Another one of the few images which are of portrait orientation and are actually quite thin and narrow. And what do you call it? Safe release. Yeah. So I like that. Goes with the title. Wide open aperture. Mo told us his widest is 5.6, I think, earlier. So
yes.
That's not to insignificance. I like the way the hands are cutting through from the dark desktop to the red and the brighter parts behind. It does give three-dimensionality. Very, very well done indeed. Yeah, I have nothing but admiration for that one. Well done, mate.
Can we just take a technical break for 2 minutes while I plug in power into my laptop?
Absolutely. Should we all take a comfort break and be back in 2 minutes?
Yeah.
Oh. No, I can't.
Coffee.
Yeah. Good idea, Brenda.
Coffee on.
What's that? We will do in a sec. We've been going for an hour and a half, which is very good, isn't it?
Yeah, certainly is.
Hang on.
As long as I haven't left the gas on.
Could somebody say something?
Hello, it's me.
Yeah.
It's okay,
Caroline.
I can hear. I was just checking I could hear
Okay.
because I've had to unplug my hearing aid thing. Who's making the coffee? A white, 2 sugars for me, please.
I just wanted to add something to my photo with the cat. I don't know if you realize what the caption was, but the cat's called Engelbert because and that's why I called the photo. Please release me. Do you remember Engelbert Humperdinck?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
I'm
So
old enough. I'm
Please
old enough to
It was
remember
one
that.
of my favourite songs in the 70s.
Yes.
Is everybody gone?
No,
I think they've gone to make coffee, seriously.
it's still here. Well, I am anyway.
Hope to give us one.
Well, I'm okay now. I'm on power, so we can carry on.
We haven't got David by the looks of things.
Bill, are you on a laptop? You're on a laptop, aren't
Yes,
you?
I am. Yeah.
David, Bill, how do you see everybody? Is that along the bottom or across the screen?
Well, I've got it down the side at the moment.
Oh, it goes down the side. Yeah. Oh, look. Oh, look. Iris has brought a dog in. Sweet.
I've got a thing that says, a notice has come up. It says, low system resources may affect your audio quality. Closing some applications to improve performance or try. I don't know.
Don't know what that is.
Seems to be all right to me.
That's
But
not
no,
David's voice is very, very broken up, isn't it? There's a problem with his microphone.
I thought it was better when he, after he changed, actually.
Do you think so? I have a job catching everything he says.
No, I don't know whether he needs to speak up a bit.
Yeah.
That coffee looks nice.
It is nice. Go make one, Caroline.
You know, I can only see one person at a time. Is that the same for you?
Yeah.
No,
No, I can't.
Caroline, listen. If you click the top left-hand corner,
Yeah.
it'll scroll along the bottom of your iPad.
No, it just says switch camera.
Yes, mine's the same.
Is that what I want?
No,
That'd be quite cold right then.
It says either leave or switch camera.
yeah. Usually, Mo, there's a little icon for doing a gallery view.
Yes, yes, on the iPad.
One to go, one done.
Yeah, but it's not showing today. I can't see it.
Mine's not showing either.
Those ones would be quicker.
So I can see a little picture on the bottom right-hand side.
Yeah.
And some of it's really rough, and you've got to really scrub it in.
I've not come up at all, which I'm not worried about.
Well, I can see you, so that's all right.
Can you see me when I talk? Because I can't see myself at all.
There's David.
Can you hear me?
Hello, David.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Is that any
Yes,
better?
I can hear.
Is the sound any better?
Yes.
No, it's not really.
Yeah.
It is for me. I don't know about you.
I'll go back to plan A or plan B.
Oh, Lordy,
That's
Lordy.
dreadful. That is dreadful.
No, you look very pale. Have you got a lot of light shining on you? You look as though you're superimposed.
Who?
You.
No, I had to move it near the power.
I
I had to move it near
No, you look very pale all the time. You look very pale.
Well, I'm just out of hospital, Brenda.
Yeah. He hasn't seen the sunlight, have you, Mo?
This is true. No, I had to move the iPad closer to the power source.
Right, is everybody back?
Yeah.
Let's carry on. Let's carry on. Can we carry on?
Go
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So, is that any better if I do that with a microphone?
Not really.
No, you get it. Okay. Right, so Suzanne's VE Day is well composed. You notice anything about the aspect ratio?
Square.
Square.
No, it's not square.
And since it's square, telephone.
Well, it's not square on my screen.
No, not on mine.
It's squarish.
Yeah.
Squarish.
Yeah, squarish.
And it's got a leading line. I've got to point that out quickly.
Very
line down
good.
the corner.
Very good, Brenda.
Sorry, telephone's going. Shut the door. Yeah, leading lines, good idea. Coming in from the bottom left-hand corner, very well composed. Taking us in to the people that are in the photo. Unfortunately, they're all looking away from us, and what they're looking at perhaps is the white car. There's no real point of interest that we are directed towards. We're taken into the photo, and leading lines, as I've always said to you, to take you take the eye into the photo to a place where there is something to look at or something to look around at. And whilst the leading line is strong, there is no real subject to this photo. It's quite pretty. Oh, they're getting on the road. Right, I'll do that one. Okay. And you'll notice, to its credit, that Suzanne has put some vignetting in, stop, left and right. There's one dreadful omission that I don't know if you're aware of. Anyone find the omission in this case?
An omission?
An omission. Something you've forgotten to do.
Well, there's a car in the road. That's it.
Can't do a lot about that though, Bill. Anything else?
Well, my only comment would be we wouldn't know it was VE Day.
No, apart from the flags,
Well, that's NHS.
Could be anything. Could be a child's birthday. No, I'll give you a clue. A shilling.
A what?
Shilling.
Shilling. Oh,
Shilling.
oh, the sky. The sky's too blue.
Oh, there's no clouds.
No clouds. She didn't put a shilling in the meter, did she?
Oh,
Should have put a shilling in the meter and got some clouds. Look, if I move to one side, look at the environment I was in. Look at the sky. Yeah. So what do you see? Clouds.
No contrails.
Structure. No contrails. Yeah. Well, I don't know about that, but anyway. But it's a. I like the aspect ratio. Square is good. I like the vignetting. I like the leading lines, but there's nothing in that picture. There's nothing to look at.
Focal point is the light street lamp. Your eye goes straight to that street lamp.
Yeah, well, I failed to find a lot of interest in street lights. I mean, never mind. Anyway, so thank you to who's it? Suzanne.
Suzanne asked me to report back what you said. So what am I to say? I thought your photo was rubbish, Suzanne.
I never used that word.
Don't say that.
You have to walk up the road about 100 yards from her house. That's about.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Moving on.
Moving on. Okay. Yeah, I like this one. Now this is good. WD-40. Padlock's been opened. We're released. I'm not sure. I'm reading the title. A good squirt. A good squirt. Yeah. Well, it's okay. The title is terrible. Good photo, good idea. WD-40 releasing the padlock. There's a little problem with it in that we've got the securing part of the what do you call it, the hasp, but the other side isn't there. Maybe it's about the frame. There's something else about this photo that irks me.
Oh, it's not. The plank isn't straight.
It's not straight. The verticals are diverging. Yeah. If you're going to have verticals in your image, they're going to be vertical, or if they diverge, or better still, converge, they give you the impression of the height of the church or the spire of the building. This just is, well, the one on the left is leaning to the left, and the one on the right is leaning to the right, and it really wants.
But David, the odd thing about that is the can is perfectly perpendicular, isn't it?
What that is barreling in the lens. It's the lens barreling.
Oh, I see. All right.
Just be aware of it. And having said that, I think it's a very thoughtful photo and very cunningly titled. I'm not sure the title is quite as good as it could have been, but it's a good photo and I like it very much. So thanks, Suzanne. I think that's a goodie. I'm just going to make a note. Sorry.
A battered rabbit for dinner?
Steak at last. Yeah. What did you say, Bill? Battered rabbit?
Battered rabbit.
Battered.
Battered.
Yeah.
Looks very battered.
Yeah.
It's well loved. It's well loved.
I think when I was in New Zealand, they were all talking about butter chickens, that they couldn't live without butter chickens.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's a standard in the supermarket these days.
Yeah, I noticed it's coming cans here. Well, what the devil is butter chicken?
Well, it's another form of curry, isn't it? Takeaway curry.
Is it?
Well, also they do it in Wetherspoons. That's always on the menu, isn't it? Buttered chicken.
Is it?
Yeah.
What is it then? Is it chicken cooked in butter or?
Yeah,
it's got butter in, but it's also got a curry. Well, most of them, I think, have got a curry flavour with a lot of butter in the chicken.
Photo, you'll notice that the aspect ratio is a little broader than some of those vertical ones that we saw earlier. It's very, very cunning in that she's got this rather battered butter escaping from out of the magician's hat, pulling a rabbit out of the hat. So very thoughtfully conceived, shall I say. You put it on a white base, which is fine insofar as it separates the hat from the base. But it does mean that the brightest part of the image is actually the white towel or whatever it is that you put the hat on. I would have preferred a grey or something darker there. The background of the whatever colour that is, no doubt an emulsion war or something, is perfectly okay. And the fact that the rabbit's got one leg in and one leg out of the hat, and gives us the idea of the escape at last. So it goes very, very well with the title. I like that a lot. The stroke line is nearly white. It's not bright white, and you've got to be careful not to make it bright white. So I like that a lot. It separates the creamy colour background from the black of the screen. Does that very well. The image, the subject, the real subject in this image is the rabbit escaping from the hat. I like that a lot. I think he could have done away with some of the bottom of the image, maybe halfway between the bottom of the image and the hat itself. Could have been dispensed with. We didn't need all that white down there. That would have been a stronger image. Just crop that off. Nonetheless, I think perhaps that's probably well, a very, very good image indeed. Vignetted, positive vignetting, in other words, darkening at the corners, and that's very well done. Not fuzzy edges. Remember, I had discussed with Suzanne some time ago about fuzzy edges. Given up fuzzy edges, she's now got proper vignetting, and she's doing it very well indeed. Excellent. Any other comments from folks?
David, I have to go. I've got stuff I've got to do.
Okay, well, enjoy
Bye-bye.
doing it. Regards to Dave.
Will do.
How is
Bye,
it?
Max. Bye, Max.
Thanks.
Bye.
Oh, she's gone. Right. So, any other comments about this one then? Terry, what did you think about the rabbit and the hat?
The only thing, well, real minor stuff, the little bow in the hat.
Yeah.
It just draws the eye a little bit.
Yeah.
If
Tell
they'd
me
have
why.
twisted the hat a little bit to
Yeah.
try and get rid of that.
Yeah.
And also, yeah, the rabbit's escaping, but I would have liked to have seen the bit of its face. Could it have been escaping towards the camera?
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
it's just, for me, just minor bits.
Yeah. Or I think if Mo had done this, he would have some sort of vision of the outside world, just very, very slightly in the mind of the rabbit, so it's got somewhere to go to. Maybe a little bit of woodland or a little bit of field. What was that rabbit film? They back in 1979, 78, 79. You know, Watership
Oh,
Down.
yes.
Yeah.
A little image of Watership Down in the background.
Down.
It's just slight. You know, not sharp, not precisely defined, but just a little idea that the rabbit's got somewhere to go. I'd have liked
What
it.
about a farmer with a shotgun?
Oh, God.
Aw.
Yeah, I think they've all been reserved for politicians, though, haven't they, Terry? Present. But there we go.
It takes an amazing length of time to set all these things up, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
It really takes ages to try and get this.
But you've got, of her photos, I mean, I was quite harsh about the first photo, and I hope you don't disagree with me. But the second and third photos are very thoughtfully done, and we've all suggested improvements that could have been made, but they are nonetheless two very good photos at addressing the topic. Imaginative. So well done.
I will pass that on to Suzanne. She'll like that bit.
Yeah.
Well done, bit. Okay. Right. So we're going on to Terry's Now, we seem to have a theme running here of bolts and padlocks, and we're all locked in. I can see where you got the idea from. So here we are. This is the gate to Terry's mansion, and beyond is the swimming pool and the western annex. Or maybe that's where his what was the phrase you used, Terry? Your slave, your servant, your maid. Was it your maid you spoke of earlier?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. So maybe that's the maid's quarters. And we're just looking out, wishfully thinking about being able to escape. And great, it addresses that. Exposure is almost perfect. No, it is perfect. The background is the outside is not too bright, and yet he has retained the detail in the ironwork. It's a portrait orientation again, one of the few, and I suppose it's more awkward to hold your camera that way than it is to hold it this way, unless you've got a 1DX, in which case it's a great big square brick, weighs 2 kilograms. Can you imagine it? 2 kilos for the camera, and that's just the body. By the time you put a lens on it, you end up with arm ache just getting it out of your camera bag. And I think that's the benefit. Iris, are you still with us, Iris? Iris, you still there?
Yes.
Yeah. I think that's the benefit of the mirrorless camera, isn't it? It's a lot lighter.
I think it's great.
Yeah, good. Okay. There is a criticism here, which perhaps you'll spot. I know you're going to jump in and tell me. Brenda, what would you say?
I'm sorry, I didn't catch what you said.
There's a criticism here.
A criticism?
Yeah, there's a criticism that I expect you to pick up on straight away.
Are we talking about the rule of thirds?
No.
No, it's not
Give
straight,
in.
is it?
The left-hand side
Straight.
needs straightening up.
It's a bit thicker this side, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not worried about the thickness. I'm worried about them not being vertical. So on the right,
Oh yes,
side,
yeah.
the bars are slightly off vertical. On the left-hand side, they're very much off vertical.
Yes, yeah.
Now, that means you've got to go into A, twisting the whole image, and B, I rather suspect you need the transform tool just to even it up a little bit, because there's a certain amount of lens distortion going on there without you knowing it. Nonetheless, very, very well thought of, and once again, I think that addresses the title very well, the task very well, and the title, Gateway to Freedom, Release, Escape, Unlock, yeah, good. Well thought of, well exposed. It's just a bit wonky. Do you agree, Terry?
The only thing is, if I'd have tried to manipulate the bars, the white at the top of the wall would have been sloping, wouldn't it?
So what's going to be sloping?
The white top of the wall in the background.
I rather suspect it won't, but give it a
okay.
try on your computer. What form of software jiggery pokery are you using?
Element.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, marvellous sound there, Mo. Sorry, Terry, I didn't catch that.
That person's tried to ring me twice.
Tell them you're busy.
Terry, what jiggery pokery are you using?
Elements.
Elements, right. Do you have transform tool in Elements?
Don't know, but I will look.
Have a look and see.
Yeah.
Play with it a little bit.
You should have the ruler there.
Definitely needs straightening up. And once you see, once you've seen it that it's off vertical, then you can't avoid looking at it. But it's
Actually,
well conceived, and I like the title. Thank you.
Actually, a rotation would take most of it away.
Well,
Just a straightforward rotation.
No.
I rather think some rotation will sort out the right-hand side, but I'm not sure it will sort out left-hand side as well. But
the trouble is the middle one is dead vertical, isn't it? It's the parallax, isn't it, on either right and left?
They're not. All the bars are parallel. They're not I don't know why you're looking at them like that. That it's just a rotation of the camera slightly. If you look at the white line at the back, that's not level either. You could slightly rotate it all to the right, at the top that is, to the right, and it would level it all up.
Well, I think the central one would.
If I take
anyway.
my screen and I twist the whole screen round a little bit, I'll. But we'll let Terry play with that. But thanks, Terry.
Yeah. Don't forget the gate's open, so it's at an angle as well.
Yeah.
An angle to the one at the side.
Right.
I'll try the back.
Well, we are into padlock pictures, aren't we? And again, rather like the falling potato, or was it a tennis ball from Fred, the padlock's being released and it's actually falling. We've got some motion blur. I like that motion blur. That's very good. Lockdown release, 3 words, great. Says it all. Like the title, like the stroke. Very interestingly grainy picture, which no doubt Terry has decided to put in it purposely in order to give it sort of a prisoner effect. Somehow it makes me feel that, you know, oh, this has gone on for so long, and here we are, we're still out there, and we're still locked in, and the padlock, if only we could drop the padlock, then we could be released. I like that, Terry. Did you mean it to be grainy like that, or is it an accident?
Of course it wasn't an accident.
I knew. I was giving you the opportunity to big it up a little bit. Come on.
It's in Google Nick, you can use the black and white, and they give you various options. And this is the pinhole effect.
Oh, right.
And I just thought, well, I'll give it a try.
Yeah.
Right.
No,
Well, it's worth talking about Nick effect software. It used to be free. My one, because I've had it for, I don't know, umpteen years, it was free. But nowadays you've got to buy it. And I don't know if the bought one is better. Let's hope it is. I've never seen the pinhole effect, but it certainly gives this very grainy effect, which if you're playing with Nick software, if you're anything like me, you'll try each of them and just see which one you like. And then it turns out, to me, this is, remember that program on the TV back in the, was it the 60s? It was called The Prisoner.
Yeah.
The Prisoner. And it's very, very much like that, giving a wonderful, deliberately grainy effect that Terry's tried sharpening and all of the other ones, and he's decided this one tells the story. I very much like the choice of shutter speed. Do you recall what shutter speed you were using, Terry?
I can't be 100%. I tried several different ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was, but I might have been a 25th, it might have been a 15th.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I tried several different.
Very good that you've tried lots of different ones. And I remember seeing, well, I was doing myself some bumblebees in the garden, and I must have taken 200 pictures of bumblebees. And on one out of all of those 200, I've got a bumblebee static, just stationary in front of the blossom that it's about to land on. And you just got to do lots. And it's, you know, it's not film, it's digital. So if they don't work out, you just delete them. You can take hundreds and hundreds. And
the only problem was I had to pay the maid overtime because I took too many images. Moving on.
Was that an unforeseen pleasure, or was that in the cards?
Well, I took enough till she got fed up.
This is the problem when you can't get the staff to do what you want them to do for long enough to actually get further on. Right, so that's a good one. This is Terry. Now, Mo, I'm I'm getting all sorts of funny stuff at the top. That's better, thank you. Right, so here we are. It's the 75th. They're having their, not the, yeah, it's the 75th. It's VE Day, isn't it? They're having their tea out on the porch. The neighbours are looking out saying, what a funny couple they are, sitting out in the shade having tea on their own. Why don't they go and have it in their own garden? And did they all do it in your street? Is everybody else in your street?
No, it was just round the corner. I just had a wander down the road to see who was doing what.
Right.
And when, luckily enough, this one had the 75 balloons. I had to wait till the wind blew them so you could actually see 7 and 5.
Mm.
Right, well, I think that's very good. Well done. Did you ask the lady if you can take her photo?
I was on the opposite side of the road and I held my camera up and she just smiled, so I clicked.
Yeah, yeah. Square format, ladies and gentlemen. The horizontal of the door frame, is it a door frame or a girder or whatever it is, seems to be more or less horizontal. There's a little bit of a bow in it. Now, what that is lens bowing, lens, it's like a cushion, you know, a square cushion, you get that sort of a barreling effect. And if you follow the black line, it's thin at the right and thick at the left and even thicker in the middle. So there's a little bit of lens barreling going on there. Terry, I don't know if you've got a lens correction box in your software that recognizes the lens on your camera and makes an adjustment, was it?
I think there is one. It might be the fact that the guttering, which is the black, might be sloping.
Yeah, could well be, yeah, okay. I like the square format, as I've said before, well composed. You've got the 75 on the third, you've got this doorway on the third, you've got the lady, it's almost a frame within a frame, isn't it? And it captures the moment in time. So that actually is an historic photo. That you imagine in 5, 10, 15 years' time, we'll look back, if we survive this virus, we'll look back and say, oh, they were interesting times, weren't they? Celebrating the release from, what did it say? From war. Yeah, release. Okay. So well done on that. Well seen. I'm not sure the focus is all that you would have wanted. Which lens were you using, Terry?
It's a 28-300.
So you were probably at about 200 millimeters, were you?
Yeah, so it might be a slight element of camera shape.
Yeah, okay. Is there a way of overcoming a little bit of shape?
Could have, I think I shot it at 800 ISO. Perhaps I should have upped it.
I wasn't thinking of the ISO.
Sorry?
I wasn't thinking of the ISO.
Well, obviously I could
Shutter speed.
the shutter speed, but I tend to work on the ISO so that because didn't want too much depth of field.
Yeah.
You know, it just
In
enough.
this case, the depth of field really doesn't matter because you're probably 40 or 50 feet away from the person on the other side of the road. So your depth of field is going to be something in the order of 8 or 9 feet. And the nearest item are is the foliage on the right, and the furthest item is the window behind the 7. So your actual depth of field in terms of distance is probably not more than about 3'6". But the depth of field is not critical in this case. Had you been closer up and able to just photograph the lady and you shot at, say, 5.6, then you could have got her sharp, and at 5.6 the wall and the doorway dropping into softness. Now what I'm thinking is that if you're shooting at 200 millimeters, then a higher shutter speed. I rather suspect that this was taken at around about 100 per second, and you could well have improve the sharpness of the image by shooting at a 400.
Here's your reminder. Take your tablet mode.
Oh, take your
Take
tablets.
your tablets, Mo. Should we all say it together? Take your
Take
tablets,
your
Mo.
tablet.
Sorry, got to go.
Sorry, Mo's maid has just, informed him.
That's a robot he's got.
Oh, dear. Right.
Is that your private nurse, Mo?
Yes, she's out of shot at the moment. Yes. Not now, dear. Not now. Not now. Later.
I hope she's got PPE on.
Oh, dear.
Well, she's called Alexa.
Oh, very good.
Oh, very nice. Okay. So, yeah, lots of things about this one. Thank you for those, Terry. I love image 1. I really love image 2. Image 3, I think in the taking, you might make an effort to set your minimum shutter speed higher. That is to say, set your shutter speed at least at the 500, and then fiddle around with your other ones as may be appropriate. Depth of field doesn't matter in image 3 whatsoever. You okay with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So let me just make a note here then. Right. Where we are? Iris. Right. So Iris has cropped this image because we've got an aspect ratio which is either portrait as we were seeing before feed 2, nor is it a horizontal or a landscape. She's decided that this water pressure bubbling up from heaven knows where, I'm going to guess somewhere in the country park, is something to do with release, and it is. The water is being released out from this pipe, whatever it is, into the lake, and she's captured the movement. So shutter speed wise, what would you say the shutter speed is in this one, Caroline? What shutter speed do you think this is taking at?
Shutter speed. Hang on a minute.
What do you think? Let's have a guess.
Well, obviously slow. But I don't speed.
Fairly fast.
Give us a number, Caroline.
Any number?
Any number you like.
Sorry, I just don't know.
You don't know. Okay. So we go to Iris. You're not on my screen, Iris. I don't know why.
Fast as I could get.
There you are. What's your
Fast
shutter?
as I could get.
Say again?
As fast as shutter speed as I could obtain, even by upping the ISO.
Yeah. As you can see by the fact that Iris has frozen the motion. Now the problem with that is that it's also frozen the, let me say, the floating debris on the surface of the water. So I haven't got a lot of separation between the squirt of the water frozen in time and the whatever they are, the petals or the other litter.
That's the water.
Is that just bubbles in the water?
That's the bubbles. That's the water. That's.
Oh, right. Okay.
It's water.
Right. Okay. So as far as shutter speed is concerned, you see Iris has cunningly chosen a fast shutter speed to freeze the action of the squirt of the water. So well done on that. It's nicely on the third. I'm not sure that we really want all of the lower third of the image. I would be inclined to crop off halfway between the base of the image and the puddle of water where the droplets are landing, so as to make it more businesslike, shall I say, as far as that is concerned. The other thing that you might have chosen, where is this, Iris?
It's a paper mill lock.
Oh, right, yeah, okay. The other thing I might consider, if you've got an articulated screen, that is a screen that folds out and angles itself, you could hold the camera down at waist level or needing it. Still see what's on the screen, take it in, so you get more of the background across to the other side of the rock. You see what I'm saying?
Well, it's not a lot of time. It's a stone thrown into the water.
Oh, I see. It's not a
You know where it's going to go. It's just
it's a stone hitting the water.
a
Right.
stone hitting the water.
Got it. Okay. I've misunderstood the title then. Released water pressure. I thought it was a pipe under the water with a squirt coming up from it.
Well, that's fine. You know, you're not really meant to know, are you?
Well,
Whether it's the water coming up.
it's the title. The title gives me to understand that there's water pressure from
Well,
underneath.
that's right. That's the intention that
Yeah.
wanted. The pressure was released. It fits in with the title.
Right, I see where you're going. Yeah, okay. All right, well, that's interesting, isn't it? Having released that, having thrown the stone in, then it's addressing the title. I like the border. There seems to be a yellow stroke and a green stroke outside that. That's very skillfully done. How did you do that?
I go all the way around it, and then with the magic wand or something, and then I put it into reverse, so you don't, and then I fill it in with it,
Yeah.
which is difficult.
It worked very nicely, very well indeed. So well done on that. Thank you. So, any other comments, folks?
Sorry.
Oh, another egg.
So, we've got another egg released. The baby comes out of the egg. Another good idea. This egg doesn't look like a proper cracked egg. It looks like you cut out the egg with the scissors. Amazing. And then we have this chick of a baby coming up from the inside. Just released. What a good idea. Super. Lovely. I love that. And how did you actually get the egg shape then, Iris?
I photographed the egg on the towel. I placed it on the towel.
Yeah.
Then when the trouble was with the baby picture, but they said it was an egg, just a lovely egg. It was a beautiful picture of an egg, as you can see. And then I just rubbed the bits out.
Right.
Yeah.
Baby underneath and rubbed it out, and the baby was exposed. But the baby I wanted.
That's good. It's good. Very good idea. Yeah.
I wanted the baby nude. I had a picture of the baby taken as it came out. As it came out, it was not normal birth. It had to come out the other way.
Yeah.
It was, but it just didn't.
Yeah. I thought that was really good. Lovely, beautifully done, and thoughtfully done. The way you cut it out. It's a different technique from that. Was it Diana's with the Diana being coming out of the egg? Was it Diana? Was that your one? The egg one?
Yeah.
It's quite a different technique in this case, because I think yours was a real egg with an opening that you peeled the side of the egg, whereas this one is a whole egg, and Iris has literally cut out the opening in Photoshop, yeah, and then she's superimposed and rubbed out the bits that don't relate. So I think that's very well done. Very good idea, and just released. What a good idea for the title. Does address it beautifully.
It was just released.
No, your great grandson.
He was born the 27th of April.
Oh, lovely.
Super.
My great grandson.
What's his name?
Hugo James.
Hugo. Wow, that's a nice name.
Yeah, I like Hugo.
Yeah.
The young parents are thinking up some imaginative names, aren't they? Rather than, well, I'm just looking down the list, David, William, Terry. Boring names, you know. I don't know. Bill, what were you named after? Why are you called William?
Because my father was and my grandfather was, I suppose.
Oh, well, there you are then. Yeah, and Terry, why are you Terry?
As my dad was.
Right.
When we had our son, my wife said, should we call him Terry? And I said, well, we've got Big Terry, Little Terry. What are you going to call him? So we didn't call him Mark.
It's better than being named after chocolate orange, I suppose. But there you go. So very, very well done. RS number 3. Let me just make a note here. RS. Again, look, we released to actually go and go outside. You don't have to stay home all the time. You're able to go out on the sand and side out, and we can spot where it is. We can see the towers there in the right hand side, and you know that this is Shoebury mud or Southend mud, one way or the other, and the people are happy to get out there and dig for bait or walk the dog or escape. I like this. The twigs on the right and left, actually, I rather like. It gives a doorstop, a bookstop, a bookend at both sides that holds the picture in. I like that. And I like the way that the horizon is horizontal. I've told you the story of seeing 350 images from one evening I went to, and every single one of them had a wonky horizon, and it's good to see an horizon which is straight, is horizontal. If you can't get it in your own photos, ladies and gentlemen, I suggest you just crop it off altogether, and then no one can criticize it. But that's nice. It's quite peaceful, isn't it? Freedom. People are allowed to get out. That's good. Now, talking about Terry's photo earlier, Iris, do you know the shutter speed that you took this at?
No, I don't, if I'm honest.
Okay, I'm going to suggest that this is taken with quite a long lens.
Oh, with a reasonably long lens, yes.
In order to hold that still and get it without camera shake, I'm sure, and Iris will tell me off if I'm wrong, I'm sure that she would have chosen a fast shutter speed. So that then minimises the danger of camera shake. Yeah?
I've got to, because otherwise I shake. But it's 2 pictures.
Right.
2 pictures in one, and this one is flipped. They were going the wrong way. I wanted them going to picture.
Yeah.
Oh.
Good.
And
No
yeah,
reason
and
you
it's
shouldn't
2
do that.
pictures, and it's joined along this. Oh, sorry, you can't see me pointing.
Yeah.
It's joined along the top dark line where the two people are.
Yeah.
I thought, well, we got 2 images. We need a third, so I stuck the man in the other one.
Yeah.
Top.
Yeah. The only slight giveaway is that you click on the left-hand side.
Yeah.
Breaks, and that's actually the giveaway there, which there you are.
Yeah.
Now, that's actually quite easily fixed, and would make a very good technique of joining the nearest piece of the land to the furthest part. So similarly, you might say if you have a tree, something's happening to the image, Mo, is that you or me?
I'm sorry, I've got difficulty hearing you.
Just a minute. Sorry, my computer was deciding to do something.
Gosh, you're very muffled, David. You are very muffled.
I don't know what I can do about that.
No, I'm having problems. Yeah, go on.
Take off your muffler.
Take off your muffler. Yeah, it's a lovely picture. Well done, Iris. I won't pursue it anymore. Yeah, well done. Good composition. Thanks, Iris.
Right.
This is the last shot.
made me jump then.
Right, so Roger's Fox. Now, it's a good square composition. Well, it is on my screen anyway. That square, Mo? Is it square, Mo?
Yeah, it looks square here.
Looks
Yes.
square.
Yes, square.
But it's not in focus, is it? It's nowhere near in focus. And as such, I'm afraid it's missed the boat altogether. I'm not sure how that relates to escape. Maybe it's escaping from you when you surprised it. But yeah, it really needs to be in focus. In fact, the brickwork, the air brick behind is sharper than the Fox is. So I would simply say that's a reject myself. But good attempt, thank you.
You can see individual hairs on its face. How can it be out of focus?
Well, can you see the air brick behind?
Well, I can, yeah. They are sharp, admittedly, but I mean, I can still see the hairs on its around its muzzle.
Well, you're a very forgiving judge, Phil. I think it's out of focus. But
The eyes, isn't it?
yeah.
Eyes.
Don't
Got
forget the
to have
fox is
eyes.
probably, the air brick's very stationary and the fox is moving probably.
Yeah, I think that's the reason. He's just tried to catch it.
Yeah. I'll say yes to all of that, but there you go. Anyway, do we have another one from Roger?
No, that's it.
No, that's it.
That's the last one.
Right, so that's the lot then. So looking at those then, are we able to look at the threes, Mo? Can we see the three images?
There was only one of that.
Yeah, I know, understood. But from each person, can we see the three?
No.
You've shown us the three.
No, I can't do that now.
Right, okay. Can you give us a rerun of the whole lot?
No. Not without, I'd have to go away for a minute and select them all again.
Oh, no, don't do that. Right, okay. Well, I'll just remind you of what we've got from Terry. We had the gate, the lockdown on and so on my scoring system, I know what that's given me. For Roger, we had one out of focus box. From Diana, we had a dandelion, an excellent dandelion, a blue sky, and some eggs with the chicks coming out of it. So good images there. I haven't made any notes about Brenda. Have you got anything from Brenda?
Yes, you did mine last time, didn't you, when we broke down? You'd already done mine.
I can't remember what they were. Can you?
There was the dog running away on the leash.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that's my. Should I see if I can pull that one up? Hold on. No, seriously. No, that's my error. No, that's not being fair to you.
Try pulling up my three. I haven't seen.
Oh, you came in late.
Hang on. Actually, I'm sorry, Brenda. Hold on. There are four more.
Don't worry.
No, I've got it now.
Don't worry.
Here we are.
Oh yeah.
Just finished, Peter.
Really good. I liked that last time we spoke of it last week. Love it. The fact that it's intentional camera movement was really very good. Dog seemed freedom and it's going for it. So yeah, good one.
Just finishing.
Have we got another one, man?
It's another one of Brenda.
People running along, fast up to speed, but again silhouetted, and that the people are enjoying their opportunity to get away. The shutter speed, I think, could have been even faster to try and freeze them against the background. I'm going to guess it's about 200, and it could have been more useful if it had been a 500, but there we go. So runners, yeah.
It was a little one.
And the
it came out little, didn't it?
With the picture on it. Have you put that picture in there then, Brenda?
Yeah, I had. I've tried several different ways, and then the photograph came up very small. I don't know why, but
yeah. I think we've had this problem before. I think Brenda, if I leave you to talk to Mo about getting the picture through at the full size rather than cut down as it tends to be, because it's taken away some of the preciseness that I say about it. It's a very good idea, and thank you for that one. For Mag, we had a door. A door on the ground. We had a bolt, and I can't read what my other one was for Mag. What was the other one for Mag? Do you recall?
The door's blowing off.
Yeah, door's blowing off. What a bolt on a door, and what was the other one then?
Front door open.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
the
yes,
open
front
door.
door
Open
open.
door. That's right. Yeah. So yeah, another good trio there. For Mo, we had the goal escaping from the hands. We had the what no man, and had another goal. What was
The hands. The hands.
Oh,
Praying
the
hands.
hands. Yeah, the praying hands. Yeah. Okay. The problem with that one, the praying hands, Mo, is that it's a picture of somebody else's artwork. And to make
I was
it
desperate. I was desperate.
You've
got to do something. Yeah, got to do something. There we are.
You've got to do something to it to make it your own. Otherwise, it's just a picture of somebody else's artwork, and all you can get is the mark.
Yes, I accept that. I accept that.
And he wasn't well.
We
And he
know.
wasn't
We
well.
Poor man.
We know the feeling, though.
Yeah. In Caroline, we had the cat. Goals again. Oh, and the handcuffs. Yeah, remember the handcuffs from Caroline. From RS, we had the water squirt, the eggs, and the seascape. Yeah, so they were good. From Bill, we had a girl in a castle, a firm, and some statues. And once again, the statues were well enough taken, but you needed to do something to them of your own rather than them just being a record shot of somebody else's artwork. Perfectly good record shot, but that's all we say there. But the other two were good. From Fred, we had the wheel being undone, had yet another fault, and I've got a ball being dropped, was it? Was that the thing I thought looked like a potato being dropped? So I thought that was very good. And from Suzanne, we had the leading line into a road with a traffic to the WD-40 freeing up the padlock, and the rabbit escaping from the hat. So two out of three of those were very good images. So if you recall each of those, then I'm going to go down the list, and you can decide who's going to get the chocolate egg for today. So it's got on my shelf, and shelf is burgeoning with these chocolate eggs. And so just go down the list and ask you for your vote. So Terry, for whom do you vote?
I would
I'm
say
sorry.
Diane.
Terry?
Diane.
Diane.
Diana.
Diana.
I do apologise.
That's all right. It's as bad as Tabor with an E or an O.
Well, true.
Right, so if I go down, so Roger, if you're still with us, who do you vote for?
Diana as well.
Also for Diana, right. Diana, who do you vote for if it's not yourself?
Oh, I think Mo's probably.
Mo, yeah. Good. Brenda?
Diana. I've got to say that 'cause she's my friend. I could say Iris.
That's not supposed to be the point.
Or Caroline.
No.
Mags has gone, so I just passed on her opportunity to vote. Mo, who are you voting for? You can't vote yourself.
Although she's not my friend, I'll say Diana.
Sticky, aren't you? Right.
Well, that's an unbiased. That's an unbiased.
Caroline.
Yeah, Diana.
Just because I scarred you for life, Mo.
Look at it. Still there. Still there.
Iris.
Diana.
Bill.
Diana. I'm afraid.
Could you have a count up then, David? Could let us know. We're all on tenterhooks here.
Yeah,
Who has won?
Thank you for the reminder, Diana.
Did you say I'm afraid?
Suzanne's
Bill?
not here. So have I asked everyone? I haven't missed anyone, have I? Have I asked everyone? Have I missed anyone?
Well, you haven't asked Suzanne,
Well,
but
it's
I mean,
a
obviously
close,
not
it's a
here.
very, very close contest. Close contest indeed. So, drum roll, Mo.
Say that again, David.
Drum roll.
Drum roll.
Yeah. Well done, Mo.
And the vote is in favour of the Lady Diana.
No, thank you.
Damn, so
Come on,
close,
then.
so close.
What it is to
I
have
was
friends.
so close.
You're going to have to get a handcart for these virtual Maltesers.
These aren't virtual, they're real. Look.
Oh, leave them on the front, David. Leave them on the front lawn, and I'll pick them up.
Socially.
I'll be there before
separated.
you.
Right. Okay. So there you go. So Diana's
You've done very
well
well
done on
today,
that.
David.
Now,
David.
with regard to gardens,
Who is that, Peter?
for this month's topic, if you can
Oh.
hear me properly, it's
Yeah.
anything to do with gardens, gardener, what's in the garden, doing the garden, next doors, flowers, dead flowers, grass, a lawnmower, you name it, anything that's got garden in the title. And if you haven't got a garden, then go and photograph somebody else's.
Right.
Thanks very much to Mo for
Thank you.
hosting.
David, you've broken all records today. It's 2.5 hours.
Great.
Well,
2.5 hours.
I'm a man of few words. As
Few
you know.
words.
I'm very, very shy, and but it's been lovely to see everyone. Bill, I'll give you. Bill, can you hear me?
Yes.
I'll be calling you on the phone in a minute.
Oh, will you?
Yeah. Okay. And wish
What
everyone
are we
all the
going
best.
to?
We're not going
Enjoy
out for a
your-
walk today, are we?
Enjoy your gardening. Sorry, Bill. Say again.
I said, are you thinking of going for a walk today?
Yeah. Is that all right with you?
I said, what pub are we going to?
I'd like a bit to eat and drink first.
Yeah, I know you would. I know
Yeah,
you
we
would.
all need that.
Right. Can I try something else with you for a second? And that is just going to do that. I don't know if I can do that. Wait a minute. Okay. Oh, Mo, you've disabled screen sharing.
No.
Host disabled participant screen sharing, it says here.
I don't know how to do that from here. Sorry.
Oh, okay. All right.
Can't do it.
You've got a thing down at the bottom of the screen. It says
No, I'm
share-
on. Bill, I'm on
share
iPad.
screen.
Bill, I'm on iPad. It's a
Oh.
different screen.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Did you get the same information come up?
But
No,
Mo,
it's different.
Mo,
No.
we achieved it last time when we did it. We did it last time. Screen sharing, we did.
You got a stop video or something? I don't know.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Can David share screen?
Yeah, I'm trying, but Mo, it says that the host has disabled screen sharing.
Yeah.
No, I can't do it. I don't. I can't see how to.
All right. Okay.
Take
Well,
that.
not to worry then. I sent you some images in my garden, didn't I, last time? I was going to show you a few more just to show you some. But it's
Send them in an email.
Yeah, I can do that as well. Anyway, all the best, everyone. Nice to see
Yeah.
you all.
David, thank you, David.
Yeah, David, and get well soon, Mo. Hope you feel better.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Thanks again to Mo. Cheers, folks. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.